この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here for Orb About the Movements of the Earth, episode 7, titled Matters of the Truth, which kind of makes me think that Novak might be involved. I'm not sure why, something about the, truth finding. In any case, last time around the Orb, we met Badeni and got to know a little bit about him. I had some questions about him, and I think that they've all been answered, as I now understand where his scars, both physical and some mental, came from, and have come to understand Badeni's sort of almost self-destructive attitude toward moving toward truth. He seems to be willing to sacrifice and cut off anything about himself in order to single-mindedly pursue truth. And that's pretty cool for a character in the position that he finds himself in now. In the last episode, Badeni and Oxy investigated retrograde, and Badeni explained it in a really wonderfully brilliant way to Oxy that I think was lovely and a great explanation for us as well, as I was trying to figure it out the week before, and then having this perfect explanation done in process in the show. That felt really good. It felt like an unlock of something that was a barrier to understanding, and I really enjoyed the way that it was expressed to us. I actually had an experience that's somewhat orb related just last night. I was sitting out on our lovely porch, and my new roommate, who just arrived a week ago, was talking to me and to a friend of his about a story that he's trying to brew up. He's trying to figure out the pieces of this story he wants to tell, and it's a solar system spanning story that has some sciencey elements and some sort of supernatural elements. And in this particular conversation, he was describing that he wanted sort of a supernatural connection between the people of the planet and the moon, and he wasn't sure how to glue that together mechanically. So I kind of interjected and said, well, what about gravity? There's a real material force that does directly link the moon to the planet that we stand on, and it affects all of us unconsciously all the time, right? We're being infinitesimally pulled on by the moon in little ways, and so is the rest of the planet, thus the tides. And to this, he sort of began to say, yeah, that's cool, but man, the moon is pretty weird, huh? There are some things about it that just don't make sense to me. And from the tone, I could tell that this was almost like a crack in the physics that underlie our systems, and a question that sort of was eating at him. And so he asked, he's like, for example, why is it that the moon is always facing us? Isn't that freaking weird? I don't really understand it. I've tried to look it up, and when I look it up, it doesn't really make sense to me. Why wouldn't it rotate, right? Doesn't that seem a little bit wrong, a little bit weird? And I was like, well, no, it's tidal locking, right? Easy peasy. And in my head, I was like, I understand this concept. No problem. The moon pulls on the earth pulls on the moon, and then it stays the way that it is because it does. And then I realized that I actually didn't understand. I've always been in favor of an idea, which is you don't really understand something unless you could teach it. And in the moment that I sat there attempting to explain what I understood about tidal locking and sort of allay his suspicions, because I got this sense that through this crack was a feeling I don't get it, it doesn't make sense, maybe somebody's lying to me, maybe somebody's manipulating the system and making us all feel stupid by lying to us, maybe the whole thing needs to be thrown away. And he didn't say these things explicitly, but I could tell that there was this attitude of I don't actually trust the scientists who tell me that this stuff makes sense. It doesn't make sense to me. Why is the moon floating over us like that and always facing us? That's freaking weird. And I realized that I didn't have a good answer for it, and I thought that I did. I thought that I understood it, and I realized that I didn't. So over the course of last night and much of this morning, and I thought about doing this instead of my drawing portion and drawing out a diagram for it, but I've got another drawing that I really want to do, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to talk you through it. I went and I investigated tidal locking. I've watched a couple of YouTube videos, I've read a few articles and Wikipedia articles and Stack Exchange posts and various things, and at this point, I pretty much understand the concept. The Earth pulls on the moon pulls on the Earth, and long ago when the moon was rotating a lot, the Earth pulls on the moon and stretches it. The Earth and the moon are not actually spherical, and it's the force of gravity on each other that makes them not spherical. On our planet, that's largely caused by the shifting of the oceans because they're easy to shift. They're made of water. But the whole planet actually becomes a little bit oblong, a little bit football shaped, and it becomes football shaped with the heavy center toward the other big mass object. So when the moon was spinning at full speed before it was tidally locked, it would spin and then it would bulge out on that side, and then that bulge would spin past the Earth and get pulled on a little bit by the Earth's pull, right? It'd pull on a little bit, and that would slow it down and slow it down ever so slightly over thousands and thousands and thousands of rotations. Every time it would sort of slow down a little bit, like friction braking, just a little bit, until the point that that oblong pulled portion was facing directly at the Earth. And then at that point, it's not going to move anywhere. It's not going to rotate around anymore. It wants to lock in that way. And thus, the football shaped portion of the moon that is heaviest is pointed toward us and has been for a long, long time. What's interesting, and what I didn't realize, is that the same force is actually acting on the Earth now. The moon has this tidal bulge that's pointed toward us, and every time we go around it, we create a little tidal bulge on the Earth, which moves past it and then gets pulled on. So very, very slowly, because the Earth is so much larger than the moon, the Earth is also slowing down as the moon's tidal bulge pulls on it and makes it stop spinning. So now I finally understand this, and I'm hoping that I'll get to talk to him tonight and go over the whole concept and sort of like allay his suspicions, because I realized that, how do I even put this? When there's a crack, when there's a question that doesn't make sense, that doesn't line up coherently in an easy to understand way, it's an opportunity for doubt to creep in. And that doubt is fine and good and important. It's like critical to have doubts like that, because those are the place that like inspires our curiosity, that inspires us to go and look at these questions and evaluate them. But just, was it last week or the week before, I brought up a quote that was from Stephen Hawking that said that it's not ignorance that is the most dangerous thing, but the illusion of knowledge. And I found myself holding on to an illusion of knowledge last night that only by revealing its illusory nature was my curiosity ignited, and I like sort of inspired to go and find out the real answer so that I can put that into my knowledge base and deploy it when necessary to talk about this concept that's pretty interesting. And I'm trying to get at something. When there's a crack in the whole explanation space, it makes it feel like the whole explanation space might be invalid. And so there's like real value to going and answering and having good explanations and understandings for these questions, and being able to communicate those to the masses, to other people who don't necessarily have like a deep physics background, neither do I, but to be able to communicate those is critically important, because if the information hits the brain and the brain goes, that doesn't really make sense, the brain is willing to dismiss it even if it isn't, even if it's true, right? And so in the process of talking this through last night, and I brought up some of the articles and I sort of talked it through, and I came to the conclusion that it was about the oblong nature, but I still felt like I didn't totally understand it. I did bring up retrograde as a concept, and I used the process that Orb used to explain it in this moment as an example of something that on the face of it, just looking at it, doesn't really make sense. But then when you apply the weirdness of physics to it and understand that you're kind of lapping another planet around a racetrack, it makes perfect sense why the path of Mars might drop backward for a period of time and then rejoin its circular path. Similarly, it doesn't make sense on its face, pun intended, that the moon faces us all the time. But it does make sense when you investigate it. And that like willingness to go from this doesn't quite make sense to, okay, what is the truth behind it? How do we iron this out and make it make true, obvious, clear sense with the math lining up and the physics lining up in a way that I can actually understand? I forgot where this sentence was going. In any case, it feels like it's really important to be able to communicate these ideas effectively, because when stuff in our environment doesn't track, I think it makes us really uncomfortable, and it makes us want to dismiss the people who are telling us that they understand it, because it's like, but it doesn't make sense. We can't understand it. But we can, and by engaging with our curiosity and sort of like letting that fire burn within us, and then pursuing it to go in search of the truth, which is out there for a lot of these things, we understand them really effectively, and there are people who have put a lot of effort into communicating them to other people and making them comprehensible and writing textbooks about them and all of this kind of stuff. But when you've got that, like, that little suspicion that's like, this doesn't actually make sense, it becomes easier and easier to dismiss the whole scientific community, to dismiss all the knowledge about this stuff and just go, it's all esoteric, it's all weird, it's all incomprehensible, it's all God created, it's all the way it is. And either just dismiss it completely and not think about it, or actually think that people are literally lying to you and there's a big conspiracy going, and then this feeds into like moon landing conspiracies and all of these other things. It's like, well, geez, everything's a lie and it's all false, and I'm being lied to by my government and by NASA and by all these different people, and SpaceX is lying to me as well. Do we even have satellites in orbit? How does my GPS system work? Is it a lie? It's all false. It's demons. And that's not a place that we want to be in, right? Carl Sagan wrote a book called The Demon Haunted World, where he talks about what might happen if we were to lose our trust in science, our faith in the ability of human beings with our eyes and ears and sensory apparatuses and our sensory devices that we've built over time to actually evaluate the world and understand it. If we lose that, the world becomes like it was in the Dark Ages, a place of demons, a place of gods, a place where things are incomprehensible and we are quite small and not able to understand them. And that's a pretty scary place to be, right? I think that's not the way that I want to live, not the world that I want to live in. So, this whole process, this whole experience has opened my eyes to the importance of actually understanding the things that you believe that you understand, going and investigating them when your knowledge is revealed to not be as strong as you believed it to be, the importance of teachability, like actually understanding a concept well enough to be able to effectively teach it, and the like danger. I really think real and present danger that occurs when people, for whatever reason, whether it's like a lack of the background knowledge or some degree of distrust, come to center on a particular scientific concept and believe that because it doesn't click, it doesn't quite make sense to their like common sense side of their brain, that it must be false in some degree and somebody must be lying to them. I think that there's a real danger to that. It for that individual person, it like takes the whole idea of scientific consensus and explodes it. It becomes distrustful. It becomes not something worth putting faith into, yeah? And so it recharacterizes for me a number of the characters whose faiths, either in the scientific explanations or in the religious ones, get rocked over the course of Orb. And the experience of this sort of rocking, this feeling like all of the knowledge, all of the explanations are falling apart, and the kind of emptiness, and it might be freeing because there's no explanation, but it's an emptiness. It's like a lack of being able to grasp your world, a lack of being able to actually sink your teeth into it and understand it and ground yourself in reality and be like, I'm a person on a rock in space. I understand this. I understand where I am in the universe and how it's all connected. And it's through cracks like that that Oxy's despair I see in a different light now. And Bedeni's like fervor I see in a different light now. And Grass's loss of hope as this perfect unitary theory that he's coming up with gets blown out of the water by something that he can't explain. I feel different about all of those scenes now, having sort of experienced one firsthand, at least tangentially, and I really value the experience and the experience of going and finding out how title locking works, because now I've got this piece of information that I wasn't really as clear on as I thought I was. I think that's really cool to find out that you don't know something as well as you should. There's maybe piece of embarrassment to it. It's like, oh shit, I don't actually know this. And I felt that last night. I was like, oh, it's super obvious. It's title locking. And that means it's title locking. It just is, right? Oh shit, do I not understand this? Is it actually a lie? Is it a falsehood? Is everything that I know about physics wrong? Yeah. Yeah. It's a sort of a scary, slippery slope situation, huh? So anyway, I wanted to share that sort of anecdote and little moment that occurred last night because it's cool, and Orb actually materially helped me understand the concept and engage in the conversation because I brought up retrograde as another thing that sort of doesn't make sense. I immediately made the connection to this concept that was talked about directly in Orb just a couple of episodes ago and last episode, and how things that don't quite make sense to our common sense actually make sense when you understand the complex physics behind them and even the simple physics behind them. Yeah, all right. So that's my sort of spiel here at the beginning. Thanks for bearing with me as I tell a sort of tangentially related story. I'm going to draw something. Okay, I'm happy with that ish, kind of. I wish that the eye was better. The whole idea here was like candle poking through the eye, creating light and stuff. I just wish that I had drawn the sideways eye better. Yeah, I tried. I did my best, but I think I could do a lot better if I were to do it a couple more times. Yeah. Okay, but I think that the symbol comes through. And with that done, I'm ready to go for Orb episode 7. I've got episode 7 up and ready to go. There'll be 2 versions. You can find a picture-in-picture version with the video up there, linked in the description down there, and a timer-based version right here on YouTube. Early access on the Patreon. Beep beep timer to count you down. Let's go. A nice estate. Hmm. Who are these people? Oh, it's girl! Jolenta. Oh, you are woman. You are not allowed. I assume. That's why. And the door is shut. She gonna go sneak? She gonna go listen? Okay, where are we going? We run... We running away? Whoa. Oh, down the well. That's why her hands are burned. What are you doing, girl? What are you doing, girl? Sweet night, sweet night. Okay, so similar to Oxy in some ways. Whoa. She just wants to listen? Wow, she's obsessed. Yeah, this is the good stuff. Huh. 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 She's Novak's daughter, right? That's my thought. That has been my thought all the way through. She's obsessed with information. She's like hyper curious to the point that she's putting herself in great danger. And they know her too. Ooh, fuck. I'm thinking Jolenta's a character in. I've brought it up a couple of times in the Book of the New Sun, in Gene Wolfe's Shadow of the Torturer. Jolenta's a character in that. She's like an absurdly beautiful girl who gets treated mostly as an object by the people around her. It's like very strange. It's really cool that she like is delving deep under the well to listen into these secrets and stuff. There's something. Okay, we are confirmed that that's Novak's daughter. Okay. And she's back where she was. I've just been standing here the whole time. Yeah, totally restful. Mm, cool and cute. This is strange. Wonder if he's going to do something evil. Hmm. Okay, good retort from him. He's just defending her. Oh, he's chill. He seems to be chill. Red. Red, Colby. Man, now I feel like something bad's gonna happen to him instead. Aww. She's adorable. I'm so scared for her. I feel like somebody's gonna steal her work or manipulate her or use her or something. But he seems legit. Under my name. I'm kidding, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, let's visit your family. She doesn't want that, does she? Maybe she does. I don't know, there are a lot of questions. Yeah, okay, she does. Okay, here we are. Eh, partly. Oh, but it's just on the threshold. It's not convincing enough. It's not easy to understand enough. What did they overlook? What's the problem? Hmm. Me, obviously. What's up? Literally says it. Yeah, I'm destined for this shit. This is what I was built for. Oh, okay. God has called me. I accept. Hmm? He doesn't even remember, does he? Yeah, okay. Mmm. Well, that's antithetical to our themes. He's directly antithetical to our themes. Completely. That's that's so fucking funny. I'm done. I'm done. But Denny, are you kidding me? That's really funny. What you done? Let's go for 10% has to be delivered to Potocki. Potocki. Yeah, that should be our fucking lead, dude. We should go talk to Potocki. Well, oh, uh, uh, the sanctity of previously written things. No, but Eddie, you ding dong. That was our one lead. Holy shit on a shingle. Matters of truth. Yeah, there's an exchange here. Huh. Hmm. Good answer. Thresholds, doorways, entrances. Oh! Oh! Yeah. We're withholding it, huh? I can hear him. Does she know? He doesn't have his bloody sleeves. It's because I'm a girl. Yeah, you're a secretary only, right? Tall poppy. Because you're a girl. Hmm. Hmm. That's a couple of layers. Oh, but it has everything to do with politics. The worst fate. Don't stand out. Don't strive for glory. Don't do it. God will reward you. Keep your fucking head down. Two separate things, God and matters of truth. Hmm. She uses Colby's line. Good. Show him! Show him! Damn it. It's okay, we know. Oxydream? Mmm. 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 Okay. Not a fan of the contempt for the poor, but okay. Count? Piast? Is he carrying all the shit in that box? Are those math problems? Ah. I wonder if we could figure out what the problem is, like the one with the grid and stuff, and the... It looks very familiar to me, I just don't know. Oh, she's gonna solve it. She's gonna solve it. And then he's not gonna believe it, but she is gonna be the one who solves it. Oh, let's go. Okay, that's fun. That's fun. There we go. Connecto Patronum. Yeah, I'm busy working in the library. I love busy work in libraries. Best job I've ever had was working in a library stocking shelves. I loved it. It was in a law library. It's awesome. I got to listen to books the whole time and sort books. Awesome. Wonder if he found it and is working on it. Oh. Asshole. Huh? What? What, you think I was gonna do it in your name? Yeah, he would never read it. And get no credit. Man, I knew he was gonna do this from moment fucking one! Moment one! Yeah, why would I do otherwise? You're my assistant. I own you. And you're a woman. Fuck. He literally had this conversation where he was like, people are gonna dismiss you for dumb reasons. Prick. Prick. It's great that we've got this sexism folded in. Like, cultural distinctions are so different so long ago, but it's great to be poking at this. You'll just ghostwrite for me. Oh, and maybe I'll bring you with me. Just keep working for me. You don't exist. You don't exist. So then this ties in with Rafal and the idea power thing versus Badeni with like, it's me, it's me. Yeah, if you fuck up, you're dead. Count Piast, he heard it. He knows it's her. You wrote it? Let's go! I hope he's not pissed. He might fucking throw her in the stocks, you know? Or he might be cool about it. I'm so scared. Don't fucking give in to Kolbe, dude. Fuck. You might be killed. She's using both logics from the same person. Oh, we're doing the music that's like Ruffle tiring up the thing. It's like, come on, girl, do it. Fuck. But she could end up in genuine danger if she says so. Ah! What a self-betrayal. And now you're with me. Yeah, smart cookie. Make me better. Fuck! God, that's rage-inducing. She's gonna find the paper. It'd be easier if you could just say he's evil. No, he's a prick. Nah, he's a prick. But he is part of a system that thinks that this is right. Which makes it more difficult. Fuck that, girl. Get out of this darkness. She's gonna see something else. Come on. Fucking slave morality stuff is what it reminds me of so much. It's like, oh no, this is right. This is right. This is just. Okay, here's the square. Ooh. Almost like I'm the perfect person. Good. I'm scared for you, girl. I'm really scared for you, girl. Yeah. Oh. Good. This track's really cool. No! God, the difference between her and Badeni is so striking. Come on, the math calls to you. Yeah! Yeah! There's wrong and then there's wrong, dude. Oh, she's posting it. Well, she's a fucking genius is what's going on. Yeah, but you've been literally seen. Is this about Lagrange points? Ah! Oh, that's so scary too. Is that the end of the ah! This is a fun one. I like her. She's a great wrinkle. Like she makes the tidal lock of Oxy and Badeni into a three-body problem. Does that make sense? I know that's dumb, but like in terms of a way of thinking of it, Badeni and Oxy are continuing to like lock into each other and affect each other's decisions. Mostly Badeni affecting Oxy, right? But now this new character with totally different ideas and ideals gets woven into things and brings Novak directly to the picture too. And is a direct line into the astronomy like industry. Oh, it's cool. There's a bunch of internal theme criticism as well. Like individual characters explicitly stating that they disagree with themes that we've like explored already or like cemented and I've thought of as like fundamental to Orb. Now we've got characters directly questioning those. Boom. Okay. I really like this episode. I really like Jolenta. I think she's super cool. And I was saying during the ED that her introduction is like a pool ball, a cue ball into the whole mess and it alters everything. The way that I think about it is Videni and Oxy are kind of like in the process of locking together I know it's weird to bring title locking in because I brought it up earlier, but it like makes sense to my brain. They're affecting each other. They're affecting each other's movements and like locking into this unit of Badeni and Oxy are going to work together and they're ironing out exactly how they're going to work together. And then we introduce this third body, literally this girl, and she upsets the whole gravitational situation, right? She's got different ideas about almost everything, right? Her ideas are not quite what Rafal's have been, not quite what Oxy's are, not quite what Badeni's are. They're a little bit different in every particular direction. And her position as part of the library, working with other astronomers, but not amongst them, not peers with them, right? And then her familial relationship to Novak ties her in so many interesting ways. And then there's her like internal world, her attitude. She's got this like fear, anxiety that's constantly on her. Like, man, I shouldn't be doing things that are bad. Convinced that she's going to be caught, anxious constantly, but unable to prevent herself from going for it anyway, which is reminiscent of Badeni leaping over the window to get the banned book, right? But in Badeni, there's like zero hesitation, no thought about it, just goes. He just does, right? And I mean, he thinks about it and then he immediately acts. Um, with her, it's like she's continuously fighting against hesitation, continuously fighting against like scripts that have been put into her mind by these people around her. And we get to see one of them actually directly instilled into her by Kolbe with this combination of like, I'm totally going to support you. Everything's going to be good. And then the way that I'm going to support you is by stealing your work. That's obviously the best way for this to go. And we get to watch her piece by piece like come to accept that and justify it within her mind, be like, yeah, I guess this is actually the way that it has to be. I don't really have a choice. I'm a woman in this situation. Damn. Folding in sexism, I think, is very strong, very powerful, right? Because it's some bullshit, yeah? And the way that it's presented here makes it clear and obvious that it's some bullshit. But then the layers of it, and then the eventual like not agreement with it, but like willingness to deal with it when she says she didn't write the treatise because she's trying to avoid all these threats. It it's like a cool window into what it means to be and feel like a second class citizen in a field where you're actually competent. And women have been treated this way in intellectual pursuits and various other fields for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of years. And it's some bullshit, right? We for a huge portion of humanity have dismissed half our brain power as not capable of doing brain power because they're different in the body format. And that's pretty dumb. It's just dumb, right? Um, there are lots of very effective, very, very like prolific female physicists and biologists and chemists and scientists who have the brain capacity and ability to do the same things that men can do. They're people, they can think, and they can write treatises that are just as good as anybody else. But in this world, that is not to be believed, and any doubt on that front is a crack through which mistrust of the system might come. So we can't allow that. We absolutely can't allow that. And so we build up again this sort of tall poppy idea, but now with even more layers. You know, if you're Rafal, it's heretical, but you're allowed to pursue knowledge. You're allowed to actually write things. If you're female, you're not. You're straight up not allowed to. Damn. Okay, let's zoom through the episode and take a look at what we've got here and talk about we'll talk about Jolenta, and we'll talk about a number of things. One thing I want to point out and like keep track of as we go through are places where we take themes that have already been cemented and question them, or have characters speak directly in opposition to them, or even in opposition to each other's perspectives over the course of this one episode. But I also want to tie in previous episodes because there are elements that are really interesting. Notably, Badeni's desire for him to be the one and to be known, and for all of his work to be burned if it is not successful, is very interesting. And then there's some stuff around Jolenta as well that I thought was relevant in that way. I wonder who this bust is supposed to be of. Is it supposed to be Count Piast himself or something else? I don't really know. Squad of young men, and you're not permitted, Jolenta. First line of the episode, basically. Yes, I know, but I really want to be permitted. We watch the door close, and it's like, you're not allowed here. And then she's off to the races to do something else. Wow. God, oh God, please don't let me be caught. And she's even questioning why she's doing this herself, and yet this is not the first time that she's done this, clearly. I have time to turn back, but I can't. Pragmatism, not getting my gloves dirty, and this is even clearer evidence she's done this enough times to know that it's going to burn her hands, and she has burned her hands on that rope. But it's like sneaking out and seeing the stars, seeing beauty, seeing truth, right? She needs to. And it's cool. But then in the back of her mind, she's like, I'm not lucky. I'm not lucky. I'm not lucky. I don't feel lucky. Somebody's definitely going to catch me. This fear that's in her is really interesting. And I wonder where it comes from, and if it comes from having Novak as a dad. But I don't know. This terror at getting caught doesn't prevent her from acting. How interesting is that? Why is it that we're able to overcome our fear like that and pursue things that we know are very dangerous for us, even when the value of them doesn't seem to equate, doesn't seem to line up? It's like the value of this little bit of knowledge versus dying, versus getting your eyes burned out for Badeni, right? Like, he knows what the threat is, he fears the threat, but he needs the knowledge. He needs it, craves it. It's like that's a piece that the show is elevating as a piece of what makes us human that's important, is this willingness to go over the most dangerous mountains and under the most dangerous scythes, through the most dangerous places in order to reach things that we don't even understand, that we don't even know will enlighten us, but we have to go and see because it's new information. And it's cool. There's a lot of emphasis on her eyes all the way through this, and there's fear in them, but there's also a determination. This is for setting up a character, for who they are and how they operate internally, how she operates internally. This is excellent. This is like an excellent little mini story to tell us who Jolenta is and what she's all about. And I think it's really effective. God has abandoned me for sure. And then she sees the light, and it's reminiscent of the light from the window. Yeah, it's hope. I made it in time. The Arabian heretics. Dear God, I am lucky indeed. So unlucky, 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 unlucky. I got the information. I'm so lucky that I get to hear this. Where else could I hear such things, yeah? And the doors open. I do like these shots of emphasis on the door. I think they're cool. Welcome back. I've just been standing here the whole time. Just getting to rest and chill. Useless woman. Useless woman. Well, in that case, please let me take part. Yeah, no, we don't really know if you're capable of it, because you're different than us, because you're a girl. I think these scenes where it jumps to, like, metaphorical space and pulls them apart, and there's another one a bit later. Wow. Sucks. Just to, by nature of your birth, be in an underclass, where you are evaluated as intellectually inferior no matter what you do and no matter what's true. Okay. Moment one that we introduce Kolbe, I'm like, oh, he's a cute boy who's quite a bit taller than her and is backing her up. He's gonna betray her. Wonder if he's going to do something evil. And I had two thoughts here. And I hate that these are the two thoughts that came to mind, but they are, he's gonna steal her work, because the history of female writers and thinkers and scientists having their work stolen by male colleagues is long and winding. There's a lot of history there. The second thought was that he's going to sexually assault her. That was what I thought was going to happen. Those are my sort of two possibilities upon meeting Kolbe. And so I think that the show does a really good job of allaying our suspicions as we move forward, because he says the right things, right? He says things that basically flag him as ally, and he's not. And he's not. He's operating as much of an ally as he can be to a lesser woman who nobody's ever going to take seriously, and he doesn't say any of the things outright because he believes they're so obvious that she won't expect that he'll do differently, right? Ugh! Blah! Blah! What a prick. Okay. But he defends her at first, yeah? And so we can see how this attachment is formed and why she believes that he's the good guy. Why she believes she can put her trust in him. You have it rough too, with Jolenta as your assistant and all. Oh, it must be so hard having a girl as your assistant. That must be, And he defends her. You said it. It's really hard to make use of such a capable assistant. He's like, oh, shit. He's like backing her up. She's like really capable. And then he says the exact right things. People are going to be down on you for reasons that are dumb. You just got to keep going, girl. You got it. You got it. No problem. Throughout your life, you may meet people who completely reject you for illegitimate reasons. But I'm not one of those. I will partially accept you. I won't completely reject you. And also my reasons are totally legitimate, right? Right. God damn, it's pretty carefully worded, and I think it's clever. It's clever in terms of the writing, to write it so that I was convinced that Kolbe's actually a good guy. Suspicion's not completely gone, but like, okay, he's actually a good dude. Let's go. Fuck. Those moments may feel heartbreaking, but believe in yourself. Move forward. It's all, you can't back down. And I'll do my best to support you. My best, within the bounds of the rules. Oh, by the way, do you have that new treatise? And she gives it to him. He reads it. He's like, oh, this is really cool. Very, very good stuff. I'll totally submit this in my name. He doesn't feel like he has to say that. But by not saying it, he's actively manipulating her. Prick. Wow, really? And he even says, like, if this goes over well, you could get a spot at the observatory and not have to be at the library anymore, which even more strongly implies that he's going to submit it in her name. Fuck, man. Yeah, you'll be transferred to the observatory. Oh, that's so great. Damn. Son of a bick. But Annie and Oxy. Alright, this is where things start to heat up a little bit. Three premises. The sun's at the center, orbits are perfect circles, which we know is not true. Right? It just isn't. They all move at a set speed. I mean, the speeds are changing, just slowly over time. They affect each other, right? And yeah, but they're changing throughout the orbit because it's an elliptical orbit, which means that those two assumptions are interlinked and false for each other's reasons, right? And then over much larger timescales, external gravitational forces, other planets, tidal forces, the loss of mass of the sun, the planets are spiraling outward very slightly. So all the planets are slowing down very slightly. All of the orbits are getting larger, very slightly, and all of the planets are faster during some part of their slightly elliptical orbit than others. So these two premises are not true, but they're close. They're not perfect circles, they're ellipses, and in part because of those ellipses, and in part because of tidal forces and the sun's shrinking mass and all that stuff, the planets are all slowing down and move at different rates. Okay, cool. In summary, these are our arguments. Is it true? No, it's merely on the threshold. It's not quite there. It's brilliant, but it's not quite there. They're not ready to be made public. They've overlooked something. So I wonder what he knows they've overlooked and is going to pursue in that way. Their careful word choice is outweighed by something at their core. I don't know what he means by this. An almost juvenile naivete. So this is coming from Rafal's writings, mostly. Some from Hubert's, probably. A juvenile naivete. So to continue this work, we must have a careful intellect and bold convictions. And it will take a man of true greatness. You know, me. Me. And I accept. Isn't that what you came for? Yeah, okay. 3 conditions. No successors. If I can't prove it, it burns. We've had one big theme all the way through Orb. The biggest theme. Passing the torch. Right? It doesn't actually matter if you succeed because you could plant a seed of a tree that might help somebody else in the future succeed. And it's the breadth of human knowledge and the totality of total understanding and the reaching of new truths that really matters. Not to Bedeni. This is a personal quest, and it is wrapped in his ego. Absolutely, completely, diametrically opposed to every holder of the torch so far. Bedeni says, if I can't light the world on fire with this torch, I'm putting it out. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's selfish. It's human. It's very human. Yeah? What's important is me. And this raises a question. What if this changes? Because Raphael had a particular set of ideas that he was very strongly convicted of as well. And those changed in a pretty sudden shift. Could Bedeni? I think so. I think that would be very powerful if he did. And so I think it's pretty likely, yeah? I refuse to be a stepping stone for someone else. 2, you will help. And we'll give you food and lodging. Fucking yeah. Awesome. And finally, 9-1 profits. Yeah, but we can't because we have to give it to Pototsky, and no, he burns it. Bedeni doesn't give a fuck. History is what Oxy comes to the conclusion that we might be losing if we do this, if we burn this piece of the legacy, this piece of the trust relationship, one-sided trust relationship, because the person on the other side is dead, can't evaluate whether we continue with it, but has passed these things down to us in trust, yeah? And it's like, we lose something if we don't follow in that, if we don't pursue it wholeheartedly. We lose something there. I think that's right. I think that's true. And I think that if we're viewing man as a bridge, yeah, or self as a bridge, especially in the context of this scientific understanding, if you're willing to just take from the past and dismiss the context with which it was formed, right? The people who made these ideas happen, I think you do lose something, right? Because you lose the sense of self as a chain, as the sense of self as something continuous, yeah? And that has been key to our understanding of the like internal psychological justifications for the self-sacrificing process of the pursuit of knowledge despite danger, has been to recognize that there is something in the past that is relying on you to keep watering the seed that it planted then. Yeah. And like the willingness to engage in part of that chain, in that bridge building that is ongoing, is important. What Bedeni is saying is if my bridge doesn't reach the other side, I will not allow somebody else to build off of my foundations. I will burn the bridge down. And I think that's bad. Like straight up, I think that that's bad. I think that that's negative and destructive and not good for humanity, and selfish and individual focused and bad. I'm against it fundamentally. But I understand it too, right? Ego is ego. The desire to do things yourself is very much real. Um, so it's an interesting conundrum. I wonder if Oxy will give up his 10% to Potocki. I'd be curious. I'd be curious to see what Potocki looks like at this point. Right, but he can't. He can't leave it. Can't we honor it? Yeah, but I'll remember. They put their trust in the person who would open the chest. I don't want to I don't want to throw that away. If we ignore the will of someone who is gone, I have a feeling we'll lose something important. Me too. Me too. This is a collaborative effort over time and space. And if they had acted as Bedeni is acting, it would not have been passed down to here, right? In some ways, this is like Kant categorical imperative sort of stuff. You can't live in a world where you would expect everyone who pursues new knowledge to destroy their knowledge upon their death. If we lived in that world, knowledge would never be passed down, and things that are left incomplete would never be completed, yeah? Like so many of the important problems of math and science and understanding our world are bigger than one person, bigger than one lifetime. And I mean, there are so many mathematicians who've come up with nearly unprovable theorems and presented the theorem as something, an open problem to be proven by mathematicians in the future. Those things have inspired thought and creativity and pursuit of knowledge and truth over generations. And if they did not, that would not happen, and we would all be the lesser for it. So I can't support that kind of behavior because we all rely on people acting the other way, acting to pass things down. Like history, maybe. I have no interest other than the Holy Scripture. Like, you can pay them yourself. And do you think that this puts us at the entrance to hell? Oxy's great fear? Well, we're at an entrance, all right, but it's to the heavens. Yeah, we're about to unlock the truth of the real world. It's cool. Okay, so we get a long, slow conversation with Novak, who's not shown to us. It's as though the show doesn't want us to know that this is Novak, even though we kind of know that it's Novak. I wonder if that is because in the manga it was unclear at this point that Novak is Jolenta's father. Yeah? I think that that's the place that we're at, that we've only had the hint of the letter, and then this is the sequence that we're sort of hinting at, and the fact that he gave gloves to her and stuff like that, none of which directly connects Novak to her, but we've seen in the OP that they're connected, right? Like, we know that they are connected because of the way that the OP is, which kind of spoils it, but it's totally fine. So maybe that's what's going on, and we're just using the same frames that are in the manga to show this sequence, none of which show Novak's face to us, and so we wouldn't know. But of course, we can hear his voice actor as well, and all these things, so there's no real surprise here, which is fine. It ends up being, well, pretty intense just because of that knowledge to me. Any concerns about your work? You look a little unhappy. Yeah, there's a gap between me and the others. Oh, you're not good enough? That's fine. That's what we would expect from a girl, after all. No, it's bigger than that. They won't let me work. They won't let me do stuff. I want to work in the astronomy wing. Isn't this enough? Don't dream so big, girl. It's good enough that you work at all. Most girls your age don't. Like, look at you. You're doing so much more. And she's like, yeah, but I'm not allowed to do as much as I would be if I was a guy. And that's some bullshit. But his attitude starts to really come through. In part, it's protective of her, right? Because he knows what happens to people who stand out. Absolutely. He knows better than almost anybody the dangers that are inherent to that, to being different and being, well, something that might upset the status quo. But coming from his mouth is just tall poppy, keep your head down, don't look at the stars ism, and it sucks. It sucks to get that kind of non-support from a parent who's supposed to support you. Yeah? Even Kolbe in his bullshit was more supportive, and his words rang truer and clearer to her, and I think that's why she leans on them, that they're the words that she uses toward the end of this, or like has running through her mind toward the end of this, but of course they're in contrast with the other things that she says, and her fears end up outweighing. I passed the same exam. I'm just as good as they are. Why am I treated differently? Shogunai, it is what it is. You're 14, and you're a woman, and the only woman who works there. A talented woman, he tries to like soften the blow, but still, being talented that's not necessarily a good thing for you. It upsets the status quo. Yeah, but that has nothing to do with the truth. The words on the paper, it doesn't matter, whether the person who wrote them has a dick. It like straight up doesn't matter. If the words are right, then they're right. But it does matter. It matters to the egos of the men involved. It matters to the system that systematically oppresses and keeps women from being viewed as capable. It matters to maintaining all of those things. Listen, Jolenta, all you have to do is one thing. Do nothing. And be satisfied. Don't stand out. Don't strive for glory. Don't live. And then he uses this almost church line. If you spend your days in solemn modesty, you'll join your family in heaven one day. I wonder if she's his adopted daughter because of that. That actually tracks. Don't dream so big. Focus, keep your eyes on the ground, and eventually you'll reach heaven. It's the same bullshit. But that doesn't make sense. You gave me this gift that I cherish so that I would be able to pursue things even in the darkness, even in the cold. How does it make sense to give up now? This is who I am. I don't want to retreat from matters of the truth. Not from talent, progress, or life. And then she says Kolbe's line, there are times you can't back down. I understand. My parental concern got the best of me. I'm sorry. I'm rooting for you. So he does turn around at the end of it, which is kind of incredible. It's kind of awesome. Okay, so this is a really interesting scene. Oxy is very much overcome by the voices and faces of the beggars on the street. He's like really pulled by them. It's reminiscent almost of the like weird dumping over the wall scene that some people said was a siege, and it's definitely not a fucking siege. That doesn't make sense at all. But this scene is kind of reminiscent. It's another sort of haunting, almost dreamlike experience that we find out moments later is real, but it's as though all of these experiences embed themselves into Oxy's mind in the way that all the people that he's killed might, It reminds me a little bit of Vinland Saga and all the dead people coming after Thorfinn and being like, hey man, you fucking killed me. It's strange. It's like, why is Oxy so interested in that? It leads to an interesting discussion from Badeni where he says, charity is meaningless. Giving alms to the poor would never lead you to heaven. After all, they are the greatest sinners. Wow, that's harsh. Harsh. But I know that there are perspectives in the faith that believe this, right? You get your just desserts according to God, and so if you're downtrodden, that's because you did something wrong, you know? Kind of fucked up. Um, yeah, I've never heard a clergyman talk that way. It's the fate that God assigned them. And besides, we're here to meet with the best. That's very strange. But Annie has a very strange perspective on this. So we need someone with astronomical records and the knowledge to do it. What a cool thing. Putting up these problems is freaking neat. Okay, I want to figure out if I can figure out what this is. Oh, they're methods of multiplication. This one in the top right is lattice multiplication. This one is line multiplication or stick math. And this one is like long multiplication. Okay, they're just three methods, and maybe it's like a proof to prove that all three come to the same conclusion or something like that. Ah, how freaking neat. So then, what is the problem that we put up? Oh man, I found an engraving that looks exactly like the solution that she posted with the four bodies at different points around the circle. It might be about solstices and equinoxes. I'm not sure. It'll take records and keen mind. Who is it gonna be? It's gonna be her! Hi, Colby. Here we go. Hey, it all went well. Your talent has blossomed. I'm so grateful. She's gonna cry. Ah, don't thank me. After all, I submitted it in my name. Yes, but huh? You what? Well, yeah, of course. What did you think? I was gonna submit it in your name? You get the pride that you wrote it. None of the credit. None of the benefits. None of the, like, increased access to things or the ability to interact with your actual peers who you're as good at, as good as. I get that. You did what? Yeah, of course I did. Like, what else would I do? Nobody's gonna read your treatise. That would be stupid. That would be stupid. Don't tell me you thought. Oh, no. Oh, you poor thing. You poor naive imbecile. You stupid girl. You thought. And it's the same divide where you thought there was a connection. Now there's a divide. And this is maybe the scariest thing that he says. A treatise by a woman would be incredibly dangerous. It would have the potential to upset everything and everyone. Inappropriate content would bring dire consequences. You could be accused of witchcraft or executed as a heretic. But don't worry, I'll protect you as long as you keep providing for me and supporting me. You'll write, I'll publish, and I'll earn a bunch of praise, and then maybe I could bring you to the observatory. That thing that I totally promised you earlier has now become a maybe. You know, because I don't actually give a shit about you. Stick with me, girl. I'll take you places. We'll go places together, babe. Fuck. Who is this bust, I wonder? I do wonder if it's Count Piast or if it's like Aristotle or something, you know? But in that world, my name, well, yeah, it's gonna be gone. It'll disappear. Obviously. What did you expect? Women don't get remembered. It's the way things are. Give up on it. This is what everybody says. Give up. Give up on more. Give up on more. Give up on more. And it flies right in the face of what he had said earlier. It's like people are going to dismiss you for illegitimate reasons. You got to buckle down, hold to your ideas, and pursue the truth. You know, not give up. Oh, I'm so worried about you. You're so naive. You really need help. You really need somebody big and strong to protect you with the fact that he's male, right? Anyway, looking forward to your next work that I can steal. But Count Piast overhears it. He literally overhears it, and so he questions it. Did you write that treatise? I want her to answer. Did you? Now he's locked. Now she's locked into those thoughts. Kolbe shakes his head. No, don't fucking say it, because then he'll be the liar, and that's bad. A treatise by a woman would be dangerous. But there are times I can't back down. I really like this visual. I think it's really cool. There are a bunch through it, but I think they're really cool. As her father's words, do nothing, don't stand out. If I back down, it wasn't me. There's betrayal, and then there's self-betrayal. To betray another person is one of the most horrible things that you can do to them. To betray their trust. And Kolbe betrayed her trust. It's not mince words about it. But when you betray your own trust, when you betray yourself, when you know something to be true and you say otherwise, it tears apart a piece of your core, a piece of your soul, if you will. Because now you have evidence, an event where you know that you can't always trust yourself. Not just in the way where, like, I don't necessarily trust myself to climb that ladder and be totally safe, right? But in the way where it's like, I'm not convinced that I will act in my own best interests. I know that I'm capable of hurting myself, of doing things to hurt myself. And I know that that knowledge, like, oh man, it can tear you up. It can really tear you up. It takes like a serious rebuilding. To rebuild a belief that, like, I'm not going to hurt me. I'm not going to do that. Self-betrayal is really fucked up. So I really feel for Jolenta here and the despair that she enters into in this next portion of the episode as she wanders through the streets and is like questioning herself and then sort of like formulating these justifications. Because once the one act has been made, it's like you gotta come up with a new sense of self, a new sense of who am I? Well, I'm this person who doesn't give myself credit, who betrays my own beliefs, who lies in a way that hurts me. I knew you were smart. And so she walks in darkness, and it's not unintentional that she's in the darkness between these two rows of buildings, right? She's like locked in and the sky is closed off to her. Kolbe is a wicked man. And then she sort of relaxes, goes, I wish that were true, but it's not. He really is trying to protect me. He's a good man is a little bit too far, right? But he's part of a system that operates this way, and he's acting in accordance with it. And this is a place where, when we're looking back in time and at different cultures, we have to be wary of, imposing our own moral perspectives on the situation. Now, I think that the morality of the situation is pretty clear cut. This is a person. She's capable of doing the thing. She should be allowed to do the thing. But he's right that, like, she would be treated very differently than everybody else, and there might be genuine danger involved. It just so happens that he gets to benefit from her not acting truthfully. And so it's all fraught and bullshit, but he really is looking out for me, and she convinces herself, this must be the best I can hope for. This is my reality. This is all I get. And she's looking at the gloves in her hands. Wait, no. This is enough. A safe space for research? That's good enough. I shouldn't expect more than that. To have my name passed on? That's not really that important. But she craves it, and in the same episode as Badeni says how important it is to her, it's elevated a little bit. It's got more power to it. I've been childish, and she integrates. She integrates what she's been told. You're childish, you're naive, I'm worried for you, you're not safe operating yourself. It's important to live smart, Kolbe's words. And now his words are operating as scripts within her head and determining her behavior. Not her own words, not her own thoughts. And so the betrayal is like continuous because she's operating on somebody else's logic and she doesn't believe it. She has to fight against it. Next. Why am I crying? This is unnecessary. It's not logical. I haven't lost. There isn't a problem. She tries to suppress. I just have to move on. And then she sees it. New subject matter. Ooh. And she's compelled. Compelled to go further than she should, to steal, to do something bad. Antithetical, like, completely opposed to what she just concluded that she should do. But she can't help it. unthinkable, really bad. I could earn more praise, but I could get destroyed. Oh, but I could. No, it's wrong. I can't do it. Oh, but I have to. I don't care if it's wrong. Answer first, think later. Awesome. Oh, it's awesome. And then they find her. I should have thought before I acted. One day I'll be caught. I should be really careful. And she is caught by the most intimidating boys on the planet. And we'll have to find out how they interact next time, whether they actually believe that she's the one who posted it. Actually, that's a wrinkle. She might attribute her success, be like, oh, I'm just an assistant, I was helping Kolbe. Wouldn't that send us down an interesting path if we go and we like try to approach Kolbe and we're like, yeah, your work on astronomy stuff is really good, and then slowly figure out that it's actually the girl? Ooh, that would be really fun. Okay. Thematic elements in this episode are really strong in that they criticize each other. Suddenly we've got a bunch of conflicting ideas and ways of thinking about the process of coming up with new information and passing it down in the future, and whether credit is important and whether it matters whose name is attached to these things, and whether payment should be given to Potocki, and whether it matters that the history remains attached to the thing, or if just the knowledge is what's important. Is it the person, the man, the woman, the hand that writes the thing, the eyes that see, that translate those things into a treatise that makes sense, that convinces people, that changes minds? Is it just the thing? Is it the math and the truthiness itself, or is it the people attached to it, or is it both? Is it the process, the ongoing process of accumulating and growing and crystallizing that knowledge and passing it down so that the next person in line can take the torch and carry it just a little bit further? Or is it about making sure that it's your credit and that it's your name that goes down in the history books as the one who discovered and changed the world and made everything rotate upon its axis purely for your own ego? Or is it for the pursuit of the praise of God and the demonstration that heaven and earth are unified in a great cosmic order? What is the point? What is it for? And how do these different motivations apply themselves to all these different characters? I think that my first conclusion during the ED was somewhat right on. We've turned the tidally locked system of Bedeni and Oxy that is continuing on in its direction into a much more complicated, potentially unsolvable, and very interesting three-body problem with Jolenta. I'm very excited to see how these three people interact with and change each other, how their individual gravitational fields alter each other's orbits and movements over time. And I think we're going to wrap there. Thanks so much for watching this week's episode of Orb with me. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoy this introduction to Jolenta, and I really like her as a third character, as a new, like, offset to the whole thing. I really think that her introduction shakes everything up, and I'm really excited to see this trio sort of form their bonds and begin moving forward with their dangerous knowledge. All right, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next week for the next one. You can get a little bit early on the Patreon linked in the description. Otherwise, I'll see you right here on the YouTube next week. Much love. Peace.